Welcome to this lesson on operators in PHP. In this video, we'll learn what operators are, how they work, and in PHP, an operator is used to perform a variety of operations on variables and values. Now, let's explore the 5 main types of operators available in PHP. Arithmetic operators are used to perform basic mathematical operations, such as addition, subtraction, multiplication. Comparison operators are used to compare two values and return true or false depending on the result. Logical operators are used to combine conditional statements. For example, using AND
or operators are used to assign values to variables, sometimes performing an operation at the same time.
The ternary operator is a short form of if-else condition. It helps make your code cleaner.
So to summarize, operators in PHP help us perform calculations, make decisions, compare data, and assign values efficiently.
In this segment on arithmetic operators, we start with addition, demonstrating how to sum two variables, resulting in 15. Arithmetic operators perform different mathematical operations. For example, if variable A holds the value 30 and variable B holds the value 10, then the arithmetic operator asterisk is used to multiply both and gives the result 300. Here is a quick summary of all arithmetic operators supported by PHP.
Let's see how each operator works with examples.
Each arithmetic operator performs a specific function, adds values. Let's see how each operator works with examples.
We start with A and B both equal to 20. For addition, 20 plus 20 is 40. Subtraction is 0, so we have 7 operators. Let's start with addition. When we add A and B, they combine to make 40. Now for subtraction.
The plus operator is used for addition. It sums the two operands, 10 and 5, resulting in 15. Here, arithmetical operations are performed. Two given numbers are added and stored in variables A and B.
In this section, we're exploring operators in PHP, a fundamental concept that allows us to perform different actions on variables and values. Think of an operator as a special symbol that tells PHP what kind of operation to carry out. For example, in the expression 6 plus 5 equals 11, the numbers 6 and 5 are known as operands, and the plus sign is the operator that performs the addition. Operators are essential in almost every PHP program because they help us manipulate data, compare values, make decisions, and assign information to variables. Now, PHP provides several categories of operators, each serving a different purpose. The first category is arithmetic operators, which handle basic mathematical operations such as addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and more. These are the operators we use when we want PHP to perform numerical calculations. Next, we have comparison operators. These operators allow us to compare two values, such as checking if one value is greater than another, or whether two values are equal. They are especially important in decision-making structures like if-else statements. The third category is logical or relational operators, which help us combine multiple conditions at once. For example, we might want to check whether two conditions are true at the same time, or whether at least one out of multiple conditions is true. Logical operators make these complex decisions possible within our code. Another important group is the assignment operators, which we use to assign values to variables. While the basic assignment operator is the equal sign, PHP also provides shorthand assignment operators that combine computation and assignment in one step, making our code cleaner and more efficient. Finally, we come to the ternary or conditional operators, which offer a compact way to write simple, conditional statements. This operator allows us to evaluate a condition and quickly choose one of two possible outcomes, all within a single line of code. It's a powerful tool for writing concise and readable PHP programs. Together, these operator types form the backbone of PHP programming, enabling us to process data, control the flow of logic, and create dynamic, functional applications. Now let's dive deeper into one of the most important categories of PHP operators: arithmetic operators. These operators allow us to perform basic mathematical calculations directly inside our PHP code. Think of them as the tools that help us add, subtract, multiply, divide, or even find the remainder between numbers. To understand how these operators work, let's take a simple example. Imagine variable a holds the value 30 and variable b holds the value 10. If we want to multiply these two values, we use the multiplication operator represented by the asterisk symbol. So, when we calculate a multiplied by b, PHP performs the operation and returns the result 300. This is just one example, but arithmetic operators can do much more. The image also shows Table 4.1, which lists all the arithmetic operators supported by PHP. Let's walk through each one in a clear and meaningful way. The first operator is the plus sign, which performs addition. It simply adds two operands and returns their sum. For example, 10 plus 5 gives 15. Next, we have the minus sign, which performs subtraction. It calculates the difference between two numbers. So 30, 10 results in 20. The third operator is the asterisk, used for multiplication. This operator multiplies two values together and returns the product. Then there's the forward slash, which represents division. This operator divides the first operand by the second and returns the quotient. For example, 20 divided by 5 equals 4. And finally, we have the modulus operator, represented by the percent symbol. This operator doesn't give us the quotient. Instead, it returns the remainder after dividing the first operand by the second. For instance, 17% 5 returns 2, because when 17 is divided by 5, the remainder is 2. These arithmetic operators form the foundation of many calculations in PHP, whether you're building simple programs, working with dynamic data, or performing complex mathematical operations. Understanding how each operator behaves will help you write cleaner, more efficient, and more powerful PHP code as you continue learning. Now that we've learned about the different arithmetic operators in PHP, let's take a look at code snippet 11, which demonstrates how each of these operators works in an actual PHP program. This example is a great way to see the operators in action and understand how PHP processes mathematical expressions step by step. In this sample program, we start by creating two variables, AA and B, and both are assigned the value 20. These two numbers will be used in all our arithmetic operations. Then, we declare another variable, CC, which will store the result of each calculation as the script progresses. The first operation we perform is addition. Using the plus operator, we calculate A plus B, which gives us 40. The program then prints this result on the screen using the echo statement, showing the message. Addition of two numbers is 40. Next, the code performs subtraction. It calculates A minus B dollars, which results in 0, because both variables hold the same value. This output is also displayed through an echo statement. Then the program moves on to multiplication. Using the asterisk operator, it multiplies 20 by 20, storing the result 400 in the variable source, and displaying the output accordingly. After that, we perform division. The expression A divided by B equals 1, because 20 divided by 20 is exactly 1. Again, PHP prints this result on the screen. The next operation is the modulus, represented by the percent symbol. This operator returns the remainder after dividing one number by another. Since 20 divided by 20 leaves no remainder, the modulus operation returns 0. Now the example introduces two important unary operations, increment and decrement. These operators add or subtract 1 from a variable's value. In the increment part of the code, the expression A++ increases the value of A by 1, changing it from 20 to 21. The updated value is then stored in CC and displayed. Similarly, the decrement operator reduces the value of A by 1. After incrementing, AA was 21, so decrementing brings it back down to 20. This final value is then printed on the screen. Together, this code snippet gives us a complete demonstration of how PHP handles all its basic arithmetic operations: addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, modulus, increment, and decrement. As you practice writing PHP programs, you'll find yourself using these operators constantly. Whether you're doing numeric calculations, updating counters, or performing logic that depends on changing values. Now that we've walked through the code in detail, let's take a look at Figure 4.11, which shows the actual output produced by code snippet 11. This output confirms how each arithmetic operator behaves when executed in PHP. The first line displays the result of the addition operation. Since both variables a and b contain the value 20, their sum is 40, which is shown clearly in the output as addition of two numbers is 40. The next line shows the result of subtraction. Because we subtract 20 from 20, the result is 0. This is printed as subtraction of numbers is 0. After that, we see the output of multiplication. Multiplying 20 by 20 gives 400, and PHP displays this as multiplication of two numbers is 400. This result demonstrates how PHP handles larger numeric outputs just as smoothly as smaller ones. Next, the division result appears as division of two numbers is 1. Again, since 20 divided by 20 equals 1, PHP performs the operation exactly as expected. The modulus result follows. The modulus operator calculates the remainder when one number is divided by another. Since 20 divides evenly into 20 with no remainder, the modulus value is 0, printed as modulus of numbers is 0. Then we see the output for the increment operation. When a++ is used, the value of a increases by 1. In this particular output, the incremented value displayed is 20 because the increment occurs after the value is assigned to c, demonstrating the behavior of the post-increment operator. This is an important detail that beginners often overlook. Finally, the decrement result is shown as 21. This reflects the post-decrement behavior, where the displayed value comes from the variable before it is reduced by 1. Taken together, this output clearly illustrates how PHP processes arithmetic operations step by step. Each result aligns perfectly with the logic we discussed, making it easier to visualize the behavior of different operators. Understanding these outputs is essential because it helps you predict how PHP will handle similar expressions in real-world programs, ensuring that your code performs calculations accurately and consistently. Now, moving forward from arithmetic operations, let's dive into the next important category of PHP operators, comparison operators. These operators play a crucial role in decision-making within your programs. Instead of performing mathematical calculations, comparison operators help PHP evaluate relationships between two values. In simple terms, they allow the program to answer logical questions such as, are these two values equal? Is one value greater than the other? Are they different? To understand this better, consider a quick example. Suppose variable a stores the value 10 and variable b stores the value 40. If we use the comparison operator reject, PHP will check whether the value of a is equal to the value of b. In this case, since 10 is not equal to 40, the expression a/b returns false. This is an essential concept because comparison operators typically return either true or false. And these results are often used inside conditional statements like if, else, and switch to control how the program behaves. Comparison operators help PHP make intelligent decisions based on data, whether you're comparing user input, checking conditions in loops, validating form values, or implementing business rules. These operators form the backbone of logical processing in your code. As the slide mentions, Table 4.1 will list all the comparison operators supported by PHP. These include checks for equality, inequality, greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, and less than or equal to. Each of these operators allows you to compare two operands in slightly different ways, giving your program the flexibility to handle a wide variety of scenarios. Understanding comparison operators is essential because they are used everywhere, from simple checks to complex logic structures. Once you master them, you'll be able to build programs that react intelligently to different situations and user interactions. Now that we've introduced the concept of comparison operators, let's take a closer look at Table 4.2, which lists the various comparison operators available in PHP, along with their meanings. These operators allow your program to compare values and return either true or false, making them essential for conditions, loops, and decision-making logic. The first operator in the table is decrement, known as the equal to operator. This operator checks whether the values of two operands are the same. If both values match, it returns true. For example, comparing 10 with 10 would return true, but 10 with 20 would return false. Next, we have reverse, which is called the identical operator. This operator performs a stricter comparison. It not only checks whether the values are equal, but also ensures that both operands are of the same data type. So, while 10 returns true because PHP matches the values, 10 returns false because one is an integer and the other is a string. This makes the identical operator extremely useful when you want precise and safe comparisons. Moving forward, the table lists, which represents not equal to. This operator returns true if the values of the operands are different. So 20 would be true, while 10 would be false. Similarly, the operator also means not equal to. It behaves exactly the same as, and PHP supports both symbols for the same purpose. Some programmers prefer one over the other based on coding style or readability. Next is known as the not identical operator. This operator checks two things: whether the values are different or whether the data types do not match. If either condition is true, the operator returns true. So both 10, 20 and 10 would return true, but 10 would return false. The table also includes comparison operators like meaning less than. This operator returns true if the first operand is strictly smaller than the second. For example, 1020 returns true, while 2010 returns false. These operators form the backbone of logical evaluation in PHP. They are used inside conditionals, loops, validation checks, form handling, login systems, in practically every decision-making part of a program. Understanding how each comparison operator works ensures that your code behaves exactly the way you expect, especially when dealing with user input or comparing values from different sources. Now that we've gone through the list of comparison operators in PHP, let's take a closer look at how these operators are actually used inside a real program. Code Snippet 12 provides a simple but very effective demonstration of how PHP compares two numbers using different comparison operators. In this example, the two variables are defined at the start. A is assigned the value 12, and byte is assigned the value 20. These two numbers are then compared using various operators to check their relationship. The first comparison uses the equal to operator, written as yideshri. PHP checks whether the value of A is equal to the value of B. Since 12 and 20 are not equal, the condition evaluates to false, and the program executes the else block, displaying A is not equal to B. Next, the program checks whether del A is greater than B using the operator. Again, since 12 is less than 20, the condition is false, and the output becomes A is not greater than B. Then, the program checks for the less than condition. This time, since 12 is indeed less than 20, the condition evaluates to true, and the program prints A is less than B. Further comparisons follow, checking for not equal, greater than or equal to, and less than or equal to. Each condition is tested one by one, and depending on whether it evaluates to true or false, PHP displays the appropriate message. On the right side of the slide, Figure 4.12 shows the output generated from these comparisons. It clearly lists each result, confirming how the comparison operators behave with the values 12 and 20. You can see messages like A is not equal to B, A is not greater than B, Yerma is less than B, and so on, each one reflecting the exact relationship between the two numbers. This snippet perfectly demonstrates how comparison operators work in real scenarios. Whenever a condition is true, PHP runs the first block of code. If it's false, PHP automatically switches to the else block and displays the alternative output. This simple logic becomes the foundation for decision-making in PHP programming, helping your applications react differently based on the values they're working with. Understanding how to compare values accurately is crucial for tasks like validating user input, performing checks before running certain operations, controlling the flow of your program, and creating dynamic, responsive applications. And with that, we've reached the end of today's lesson. I hope this deep dive into PHP comparison operators and the examples we explored together has helped you build a clearer understanding of how conditions and logical decisions work inside your programs. These concepts form the foundation of almost every interactive feature you'll ever create, so mastering them is an important step on your programming journey. Thank you so much for watching Huzaifa TV Official. Your time and support truly mean a lot. Stay informed, stay inspired, and keep growing your skills as part of the Huzaifa TV Official family. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like the video, leave a comment, share it with someone who might benefit, and of course, subscribe to the channel so you never miss future content. Hit that bell icon to stay updated. Once again, thank you for watching. This is Huzaifa TV Official, signing off. See you in the next video.